I'm a co-founder of solosuit.com, and today we're talking about Coronapocalypse new programs for consumers that people have put out to help people not default on their loans, basically as a result of Coronapocalypse. All right, there's a lot of good people doing a lot of good things right now to help people like yourself out. Let's go one by one. First, if your hours are cut because of coronavirus, if your hours at work are cut because of coronavirus, you can apply for unemployment. All right. On March 12th, 2020, they were put out some new reasons that you could get unemployment. All right. Let me just list them off for you. First, if an employer temporarily closes or ceases operations due to coronavirus, you could get unemployment. All right. If an individual is quarantined and expected to return to work after the quarantine is over, you could get unemployment. If you leave employment due to risk of exposure or infection, or to take care of a family member, again, you could get unemployment. Or you could also just get unemployment if your hours are even reduced because of something outside of your control, like the coronavirus. Side note, state unemployment websites are crashing. All right, so you might want to try going to them in the middle of the night. They're crashing because so many people are getting unemployed and applying for unemployment. So just go there in the middle of the night. Maybe less people will be on the site. Next, if you need help with your rent payments or mortgage payments, keep in mind that FHA loans and public housing have actually just been protected. On March 18th, as said that public housing and FHA-backed mortgage loans are protected from eviction. So people with either of those are protected from eviction, not forever, but until the end of April 2020. All right, so keep that in mind. President Trump ordered this recently through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, right, to halt all evictions and foreclosures. This will affect approximately 8.1 million households. All right, so that could be you. Keep that in mind. You may be protected from getting evicted, from making late payments, or not paying a mortgage or rent. There are some restrictions that apply, so look into that in more details. Next, you may be able to skip your utility payments. All right, so a lot of utility companies have said they will not disconnect like your power or your water, etc. And also, they may not charge you late fees. Check out the full list. Utility companies, right? These include like California, PG&E, or Con Edison in New York, or AEP, Texas, in the great state of Texas. Internet and cell phone providers are also on the same bandwagon. Some people who said they won't cut off service or charge late fees include AT&T, CenturyLink, Comcast, Cox Communications, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon. Also, did I mention you could actually get 60 days of free internet with Comcast if you apply right now. Yeah, they're doing that so they can help out your kids. If your kids aren't going to school, they still need the education. So 60 days of free internet with Comcast. Next up, student loans. If you have student loans, you may be able to get a reduction or a delay on those payments. All right, this was announced just on March 20th, so the day that I'm making this video, this was announced, all right? You may qualify for a delayed or reduced payment program. What's happening here is that federal student loans will automatically have their interest rates set to 0 for at least the next 60 days. Now, what does that mean? Interest rates are set to 0, huh? Okay, what that means is that if you make payments, you won't be paying off the interest. All that money you pay will go directly to paying down the principal. Pretty sweet perk, but only if you have the money to make a payment, right? But there's more. So you can also suspend payments entirely for at least 2 months without accruing any interest. That's pretty sweet. So you can just not make any payments. But you first have to reach out to your loan services, either online or the phone. Might be difficult because a lot of people are calling them right now, right? And then finally, there's actually set now an automatic suspension of payments for any borrower more than 31 days delinquent. All right, so if you're 31 days delinquent, there's actually an automatic suspension of payments. This will give you basically a safety net during this time of national emergency. Again, there's some kind of misinformation around what the student loan proposal is, but make sure you understand it fully before just like not making any payments, right? Next up, credit card payments. All right, you may have it may be an option to just delay credit card payments. Currently, many banks have said that they will waive certain fees, like maybe ATM fees, overpayments, late fees, etc. You definitely want to call them first and double check, right? They might allow you to delay, adjust, or skip some of your payments. But again, don't just like stop paying. Make sure you understand first. And then finally, generally, the CFPB actually put out some advice, right? If you are being hounded by a lender or a debt collector, again, get in touch with them. When you talk with them, you want to be prepared to explain a few things, right? One, explain your situation, right? How is your life? Make sure your story is set and compelling about how your life has been negatively impacted because of Corona apocalypse. Okay, and then figure out how much you can actually sustainably afford to make a payment on these plans, and um, when you're likely to be able to restart the regular payments. And finally, in the case of mortgages, be prepared to discuss like your income, expenses, assets, all of that normal stuff, right? So when you're reaching out to lenders, be prepared to tell them about your situation. As always, you can just go on over to solosuit.com. We can do all this for you. We even have a free service, or you can have us have an attorney review your document, your answer document that you generate to respond to the lawsuit, and we can even mail it for you. No matter what state you're in, we can do this service. Just go head over to the website, give us a phone call the number at the top of the site if you have any questions. All right, we love talking with you guys. Love talking with you. Love helping you out. I'm George Simons, and I am rooting for you. Let's beat this, America.